Connor?
Here.
Commissioner Cordell?
Here.
Commissioner Fowler? Here. Commissioner Lockley?
Here.
Commissioner Moore?
Here.
Mayor Black?
Good invocation. Dear God, our Father, once again, we are grateful for your many blessings upon our town. We thank you for the way you have been helping us to get through this pandemic. We thank you for seeing us this far through it and praying that there is an end coming soon. Pray your blessings upon us tonight as we make decisions concerning the town. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, first item, adoption of the agenda. Everybody read it? Have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor? All right, approval of the August 13th, 2020 Board of Commissioners regular meeting minutes. Motion. Approved. Katie? Second.
I'll second that motion.
Doug? All in favor? Okay. Any attendees?
There are none, Mr. Mayor.
No.
Here he is.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right, like for, Pastor Simmons, you wanna do invocation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, and I apologize for the delay with the traffic. I'll tell you this short story. This guy had a chicken, and he wanted to lay an egg. And so he took him out to the busiest section of the interstate, like when I just came off of, and he said, I want you to, I want you to lay an egg for me. He said, where do you want me to lay the egg? He said, I want you to lay it on this line right here in the middle of the road. And you may have heard this one. He said, on the line? He said, yes. I want you to lay it on the line, and I want you to lay it on the line fast. So I'm gonna try to do that real quick. And I'm gonna try to lay it on the line.
Yeah, if you want to stand here, Pastor Dave, we're on
Okay.
Facebook Live, so
Right here.
Right here.
anywhere you'd like.
You tell me where you want.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Ask the camera over there.
Okay. And great to be with all of you. We appreciate your leadership. Feel inspired to draw from a passage in Proverbs 3. And Proverbs 3 and actually, let's see, 4 and 23 rather. Proverbs 4 and 23. Here's what the wisdom writer said. Keep thy heart with all diligence. Keep thy heart with all diligence. For out of it are the issues of life. And I'll add what Jesus said in the Gospel of John, chapter 15 and verse 12, when he said, I give you a commandment that you love one another as I have loved you. I think sometimes in life, we have to hurdle and maneuver through so many situations, complications, just the everyday issues of life, that sometimes we lose vision. We lose our vision on really what life is all about. And I think sometimes we forget what people are looking for and what, at the end of the day, what people really want. And when I think about our community, what do mothers really want? I think mothers want their children to be able to go outside and play and know that their children are safe. I feel like ladies would like to get together and walk down our sidewalks and know that they don't have anything to fear. I think men like to live in community where their neighbor, where they feel like their neighbor, if something goes wrong, their neighbor has their back. Where there's this community where people are looking out for one another. And at the end of the day, I don't think people are so much concerned about our programs. I don't believe that our titles, my title as a bishop, I don't believe the title defines the man or the woman. I believe the man defines the title. I don't think we can let our programs define who we are, is what I feel inspired to challenge us for tonight. I don't think our programs make us who we are. I think we as people make our programs what they are. And so in the end, I think that what the enemy really wants to do in culture today, I think the enemy really wants to steal our heart. I really believe that. He wants to steal, and when I say steal our heart, I mean, I believe the enemy wants to maybe bring a bad experience in our life. Maybe through some leader or somebody we trusted or somebody that we loved. And if the enemy or the world can poison us, poison our heart to where we really believe and we adopt a mentality that nobody cares about anyone. You understand what I'm saying? When we develop a mindset and we feel like nobody really cares about anyone. When the enemy can do that to us, he's stolen our heart. And we get bitter. And we're angry. And we go through life thinking this. And I won't preach long, but I feel inspired to tell us this tonight. I think we end up going through life with a bitterness, and we feel like nobody cares about anyone. No one cares about anyone. And I think that's a little bit of what the wisdom writer was saying when he said, guard your heart. We need to be careful with our heart. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, people don't care about our titles. They don't care about our positions. They don't care about all of our accolades. What people really want to know at the end of the day is that somebody cares about them and their situation. So I want to pray for us. I feel inspired. I thank you for waiting for me. Felt like I wanted to bring us a good word. God, touch my heart. Don't let poison get a hold of me to where I'm embittered and I think everybody's bad, everybody's evil. No one cares. And if we can, let's bow our heads together. And I want to bless us tonight. Lord, thank you for this opportunity to share from your word and to pray and bless our town leaders. God, I pray that you would strengthen us as a community. And Lord, my prayer, and what I hope that you can do in my life, God, I just want to be a part of the community, a building block. Let me be a building block in a community where somebody can look at me and feel like I'm an individual that cares about humanity. And it's not just another being, it's not just another individual, God, but there's a person here living inside of this body that cares about humanity. And I bless our leaders and I bless our town. I pray that you will help us through our leadership, God, to build that kind of community where as we labor together, as we work together, as we live in community together, when we look at one another, that we can have a sense that there's someone that cares about the other person. I bless them and I ask this tonight in the name of Jesus. And everybody said, Amen. Amen. God bless you. And I hope that somehow we inspire and bless you. Thanks so much, Jonathan. Hope you have a great week. Bless you all.
Thank you, Pastor
Yes, sir.
All right. Next item. No comments from attendees. So old business. We'll do the public hearing. Have a motion to go into the public hearing.
Make such a motion.
I'll second. All right, all in favor? So carried. We're now in the public hearing. So we have nobody.
No one
called
is
in or
requesting.
anything?
No, Mr. Mayor, I've received several calls over the past few days, but I've explained to them the request for the variance. What it is Ms. Jessica McCaskill owns 1323, 1327, 1331, and 1335 North 2nd Street. Currently, that is 2 parcels with 4 houses on it. She is requesting a variance to subdivide each of those 4 houses into their own individual lot. Currently, the size of those lots do not meet the standards set out in our ordinance, and she is requesting a variance for each one to subdivide, and it's my understanding she would like to sell each one of those properties individually. So, as I said, we provided a call-in number, we advertised twice within the Gazette, and also sent notice to each of the abutting property owners, and there was no one that wished to speak on the issue tonight.
So it's not missing our variance by much. It's a 50 by 150 lot. aren't they?
I believe that's correct.
One of them's 46, by 151, so,
Right, I believe one is 46, one is 53, and the other two are 50.
yeah, 50 by 151.
And it just doesn't meet the setback requirements from the road, right?
Correct, yes ma'am. It's required to be 70 feet, and it is, each of those are about, the two on 1331 and 1335, they are less 20 feet for that setback, and then on 1323, it's 16 feet, and 1327 is about 24 feet short of meeting that necessary setback.
But they were built before the setbacks were set, right?
Yes.
They, by all appearances, if you're looking at them, you would never know that they were on two parcels in lieu of four.
Okay. All right, you wanna close, public hearing, any more discussion? Have a motion to close.
That's
I'll-
the two motions.
I'll save that one.
All right, all in favor, close. All right,
Next, Mr. Mayor, I'll need two motions. Next, one, to adopt the consistency statement saying that this variance is in compliance with the, town ordinance, or that it is not. And then a motion to deny or to approve the.
so the first, have a motion on the first to
Approve the consistency statement.
the consistency statement.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, have a second by
I'll save.
Doug. Eddie made a motion, Doug seconded, all in favor? All right, and now the motion to accept the variance.
I'll make a motion to set the variance. Ready?
All right, have a motion, a second, all in favor? So carried.
And for the reasons that this is in the best interest of the public, I'm gonna put consistency and uniformity on the consistency statement for the, mayor and myself to sign.
I do have a question. Is there a way that we can, put in or add into the ordinance, that houses built prior to the establishment of the setbacks don't necessarily have to abide, so we don't have to, if there are more cases like this where somebody's trying to split something and the only thing they don't need is the setback, or we don't have to have
Sure.
another public hearing?
Absolutely, I think that's possible, and, the town attorney sent his apologies, he's not able to be here this evening, but I will, review with Mr. Wyndham. I believe we can have an ordinance, either revision, clarification, or adoption, to put that type of boilerplate information saying that houses built to prior to a certain year are grandfathered in under the, current ordinances or ordinances going forward. I will be glad to look at that, Ms. Cordell, absolutely.
Okay, new business, first item, our first quarter financial review.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to briefly, give you all an update where we are coming up on the end of the first quarter. Everything seems to be in line with where it needs to be given this point in the fiscal year. Some line items are, towards the end of the, funds that were allocated, but that's primarily because there were capital outlay projects that were completed early on. There were, projects that were allocated to begin, and those have been undertaken and since concluded. A few of the line items are over, primarily, cleaning. We have contracted to have, the buildings commercially cleaned due to COVID. We have kept that, those expenses in one line item. I hope to get reimbursement from the county for all of those expenses, so that is not an issue of concern. But other than that, the budget continues to progress forward in the fiscal year. You all have a copy of year-to-date actuals. If there are any questions, concerns, or, inquiries, be glad to answer those, but we will likely be bringing budget amendments to clean up some of the line items, towards the end of the year, towards the end of the next quarter. But all in all, things continue to go well with the current 2020-2021 year budget.
So are you trying to say that it's not gonna be perfect?
It will not, Mr. Mayor. Many things are up in the air. Sales tax, certainly revenues coming in, and then, things that are out of our control. But we're gonna do the best we can with what we have.
Yeah, I know. Some of our, citizens feel like that it's supposed to be perfect, you know, there's no variances in it. You have to switch money around, and when we come to that, we will.
I don't think people are so much concerned about our program.
Easy now.
Is there a way we can put this on the website?
Absolutely, absolutely, and, I'll print, Ms. Johnson and I'll get together, we'll print a more current one, this was as of, September 4th. So, end of the month, we'll put up effective maybe October 1 to show July, August, and September in full.
Next item is presentation of the revised utility billing procedures.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I am not looking for any money to be allocated towards this project. I feel confident that when the dust settles in the current budget, that we will have the necessary funds to extend this project. But really, I wanted to give you an overview of what we're looking at. With the passage of this proposal, we will be able to give our consumers the opportunity to have a bank draft option for their water and sewer bill. They'll have an option to log in directly to their account, to see their current charges, to see what they owe, and then, of course, we'll continue to have the option to be able to pay online. But all in all, this will give us the platform to go forward to revise the way that we bill, to revise the way that we're able to provide services for customers to be able to pay. This will also provide for updated software, updated hardware in order to meet the needs and to have the capability to move forward. It will put all of us on one central platform, police, town hall, all administrative staff, move all of our emails to one secured server. It will meet all of the necessary security protocols for the police department. Ms. Johnson's done an excellent job being the liaison on this project, working with Microsoft, working with our vendor on this project. So I want to make you all aware of this. We're going to, if the board is agreeable, move forward with this project, provide something in our bills this month saying the draft's going to be an option, that this will be an option moving forward with logging into your account. I think it will be a great service to our residents, and I think it'll help us be able to look at the way that we bill, look at some of the due dates, look at some of the practices that are currently in place. So this is not a finalized proposal. There have been adjustments with the number of users that we're going to have on our account and with the security protocols that will be necessary for that police department platform. But I wanted to at least get the board's consensus tonight that this was acceptable, agreeable, and something that you all were comfortable moving forward.
Any discussion on that?
It'll bring us up to times.
It'll help, and from a cybersecurity standpoint, certainly necessary.
You know how much we're spending a year on our current, like the police department, email them all, how much we're currently spending?
Right, and that's I don't know right off, and it's difficult to project because you have certain expenses that are associated with the police department, certain expenses associated with town hall, and then there's a lot of overlap that we had an issue today where the internet went out, and it was the police department's internet, but we have the server there, the router here. There were issues concerning what's connected to what, so this will help clearly differentiate between what's what, who's who, and that we're on this one central platform. But I can certainly get those numbers and projections based on past few months to see rough estimates for it. So.
So do we have a consensus from the board to get the manager blank? We do, okay.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda, discussion of the revised fee schedule for bulk and excess garbage.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. This was an issue that came up at last month's meeting. There's been a problem across town with customers that opted to return their second garbage can for that $9 a month base charge as opposed to $3 extra. And what that's resulted in is some homes, they fill up their one garbage can and then they put their excess garbage by the can, on top of the can, around the can. It was an issue I believe Commissioner Fowler brought up last month, and I said that I would review and research. And I've actually looked into it a great deal. The city of Gastonia only provides bulk pickup for excess garbage, those large items that don't necessarily fit in the trash can. They provide it twice a year, and the city of Lowell is moving forward with quarterly pickup on those bulk items and excess garbage. I wanted to gauge the board's interest to see how you all would like to tackle the problem, how you would like to address it. Whether you wanted to look at an additional fee on the fee schedule for any time Public Works has to come out for garbage that's not correctly disposed of. If we wanted to move towards perhaps something similar to Lowell with quarterly bulk pickup. Currently, we're picking up every week, and it does put a strain on Public Works, and it is quite costly because everything that we pick up from a bulk standpoint, we have to pay for at the landfill when we take it there. So I just wanted to gauge the board's interest, thoughts on this evening, and see where you guys were with this, and to see if we could reach some type of consensus to put a revised policy in place.
So if we do it quarterly, you'll be able to monitor which house has bulk trash, and we're gonna charge them accordingly, is that right?
If we were to move quarterly, we would only pick up those bulk items once per quarter, so people could put those out each week, and if, at the town hall, which we would make them aware that we will not be picking this up until the quarterly timetable comes along and give them their options, either going to the landfill or removing of it, another way. Would be, the quarterly schedule, and then, of course, they didn't comply, looking at some type of illegal dumping fine or some type of penalty.
So we wouldn't, option out, a fee, pick up more than quarterly.
Right, that, we would pick up quarterly, and then anything else, we could look towards charging the actual cost of what it would take to get it as a equivalent of it. That could be dropped in between those quarterly timetables.
I wonder if it would, since it's something that we do weekly now, going to quarterly might be, a little bit of a shock. If we could maybe do like monthly,
Sure.
and then go from there. But as far as people setting things out by the trash can, or, not properly disposing of their trash, or putting it in their garbage can, I think it might be best if we come up with some sort of fee and make it so that if they truly did need the 2 cans and they just didn't wanna pay the extra $3, we would have to make it worthwhile for them to just pay that extra $3 and have another can.
That's the problem they run into in a lot of places. They'll cram their drink in and slam full and then throw their stuff outside. And then if the one-arm truck's getting it, he gets a can, they'll still lay there, they'll call them and say, well, they didn't get my trash this week. But, yeah, they did. Another thing we run into is people just dumping paint in the trash cans when they crush it,
Yeah.
paint's going everywhere. So, we need to come up with a fine on that too.
And the concern I got is if other municipalities are going to a quarterly pickup on bulk, we don't put ourselves in a position to where we are importing other people's bulk items, just so they can get rid of it.
Right. I do
That
like.
could happen.
Yeah.
Should. Yeah, reckon?
I mean, if they'll just call over and say, hey, I'm gonna have this amount of trash this week, make them aware of it.
And I agree with Ms. Cordell that we don't want this to become a shock to everyone that they are typically used to this weekly pickup. What I would recommend is looking gradually towards transitioning it to a timetable, perhaps starting monthly, and then adding something to the fee schedule that if there's excess garbage that's been improperly disposed of, first time offense, a $25 fee, second time $50, and, consistently moving forward. And perhaps start making people aware that we're moving towards this policy now, and maybe have it effective, the first of the calendar year. That way we've got October, November, December to, let people know what we're doing, get through Christmas, which of course will be a huge amount of garbage that's produced there, and then move forward with any type of enforcement, any type of, issuing the fees, beginning of 2020. If that is agreeable to the board, and I can get a formal, proposal, formal amendment fee schedule, back to you guys next month.
So we're going with the quarterly.
Or monthly.
Monthly may be less of a shock and easier transition. Perhaps we can try it for a while, see how it goes, and then.
Well, it ain't changing much, so monthly, is it?
It's,
1 week instead of 4, but.
We still have the trailers available for people to, call and.
Correct.
Not really say rent, but, you know, I think you get one free use, and then after that, you pay the tipping fee, something of that nature.
we formalize that, I think that should go in with the announcement, to remind people that it's an option to have.
And the tipping fee won't be a lot if you don't put stuff in there you shouldn't put it in.
I will work up a formal proposal, work up a notification, and we can plan to send those out, mid-October, if that's agreeable to you all.
Do we still, I know I've received one before, but I've only received it once, that I know of. Reminding people what they are allowed to throw away and what they're not allowed to throw away.
We can do a reminder in the letter with the bill as well. We can continue to run that. I think that's a good reminder, so people know, because last time that we did run that application, we did get lots of calls that, oh, I didn't know that I couldn't dispose of the TV, what do I do with it? So I think that is a good reminder and keeps it on the front room.
All right. Next item on the agenda is consideration of a rear loader for the public works.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. The current car can small garbage truck that we have is in very poor condition, and as of a couple of weeks ago, it's no longer functioning properly. It's been band-aided several times over. We hoped that we could get by with it for a little while longer, but unfortunately, it's no longer safe to be on the road. Unfortunately, it no longer meets inspection in its current condition. I would like the board to consider borrowing money to purchase a new rear end loader. I have begun advertising for bids that will be concluding next Wednesday. As this is an unexpected and emergency purchase, I think that if we are in a position to borrow the money, and BB&T, now Truist, has gave us a fair proposal at a 1.5% interest rate, and they have also agreed for no payment to be due on the loan until September of 2021. So no, there won't be any encumbering of any unallocated funds in this budget. The budget would stand as is without a budget amendment. We would just plan for this in the next fiscal year budget. As a matter of public safety, as a matter of building our credit to show consistent, reliable credit history, I would recommend that the board consider approving this financing agreement and then moving forward with most competitive bidder at the end of the sealed bid process next Wednesday.
What's the bottom line on these?
They've been quoted anywhere between $100,000 to $115,000. And what this truck is, it does not require a CDL driver. Anyone can drive it. It can go through the primary purpose of it is to go through the back alleys through here on the Mill Village where you can't get a garbage truck, to go down dead-end streets such as Redland through there into Booker where you can't get a normal sized garbage truck. And this will, of course, eliminate the need to have a CDL driver in every single garbage truck. It would certainly be beneficial. It is impressive. The demo that we looked at is very impressive, and I think that we would get many years out of it as the current truck park can was purchased in the early 2000s, as long since lived as expected.
It would eliminate the guy picking up the trash in the small truck having to chase the garbage truck around town with dump. It would also eliminate all the trash being blown out of the back of the truck going down the road.
So he could actually compact.
Yeah, he can compact, when he gets full, he goes straight to waste management and dump,
That's right.
instead of chasing the truck around town, put more miles on the truck, burn more fuel.
Currently, they're backing down parts of Redland or that
Yeah.
area, they're backing down.
They have to back the big truck down there around all the vehicles that's parked out there
They're
and
making turns where it's unsafe, if someone's coming on, there could be an accident.
And ordinarily, I would not suggest any type of large capital outlay purchase like this mid-budget year, but as it is more of an unexpected emergency purchase that we could not foresee, and as it will not encumber any funds in this current budget, I feel that it is a good proposal and a good plan moving forward that Public Works has recommended and suggested that I could.
So you would rather borrow the money than use it out of fund balance?
I would, yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. It's been a while since town of Ranlo has financed anything.
True.
As we're looking at some of these grants, some of these projects that are coming down, I think it would establish a consistent credit history. It would show us as a reliable borrower and would certainly be advantageous, certainly with interest rates as low as they currently are.
I'll make a motion, we approve you to go ahead and
Alright.
allow BB&T to.
Have a second.
I second.
Alright. We'll have that submitted at the next board meeting, what?
Yes, it was. I'll need a vote on to pass the financing agreement with BB&T.
Vote the finance agreement, is that what you?
Yeah.
And I said,
Made a motion for?
With it being an emergency, do we have to bid it out?
The bid process has already began. We started on Monday and it'll run through next Wednesday. It's a purchase of over $90,000, so it would need to be bid out, given the amount that it's likely going to cost based on quotes that we saw.
I'm good with that. I mean, we really could use it like yesterday.
Right. Well, and if the board is comfortable, once the bids are in, we've reviewed them, I can go ahead and award the bid to the most competitive bidder, and we can move forward with that next
Well, I'll
week.
make a motion, we allow the town manager to move forward with the
Financial agreement.
financial agreement and with the right bid that comes in, make a choice on.
We have a second?
I second.
If you like it, a second. All in favor? So carried. All right. Next item on the agenda is the adoption of stormwater resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. August 4th, the town of Ranlo was audited for the first time for our MS4 stormwater permit. The state noted several discrepancies that were of concern, but not to the degree that a notice of violation should be issued. They asked that the board be made aware of these issues to pass a resolution affirming the support to be in compliance with our permit prior to the next 5-year extension of our permit being extended. We have made several of the recommended changes that the state proposed. We're working to be in compliance. They asked only that we pass this resolution, showing our support, affirming that we're aware of it, and pledging to fix the issues that were noted in the MS4 audit. That will simply require a vote to adopt the resolution.
Adopt
Make
the
a motion,
resolution.
we adopt the resolution.
Have a second, also, Robin?
Yes.
Get you involved over in the corner, okay?
I'm with you.
All in favor? So be it. Okay. Next item on the agenda is adoption of citizen participation plan for community development block grant.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, and this is an item that I am particularly excited about. The CDBG grants that we are looking at are two separate projects. One is for the complete replacement of the water lines in the south end of town from Redland and Neely to Booker, over here to Franklin, to Love, to Ranlo Avenue, to Burlington, completely replacing those lines. I feel that we are going to be a very strong contender for that project. That project will be due by the end of November. The first step in order to be able to apply for these grants is to adopt a citizen participation plan. This shows how we're going to engage the public, what we're going to do to ensure that everyone has a fair opportunity to comment on the project. And the next step in this will be a public hearing for October 8th. Also, the second part of this project is emergency funds that the governor has allocated for municipalities. Over $20 million has been allocated for municipalities to use towards COVID relief efforts. I've been working with state, working with engineers, and I feel as though we're a strong contender to get a significant amount of money if we move fast enough, as it is on a first-come, first-served basis. This citizen participation plan will cover both projects, the infrastructure planning and the emergency COVID relief funds. But we will have the public hearing. We're required to have 2 public hearings on the matter. We'll have the first one October 8th, and I would like the board to consider having a meeting later in October to meet primarily for the purpose of having the second public hearing and adopting the minutes from the prior public hearing, so that we can have everything signed, sealed, and sent into Raleigh by the end of October. So what I would like to look at is October 22nd and October 27th to meet briefly, to have these public hearings and to approve these meetings after the October 8th meeting. I'll get that information to you as well. It should be a pretty standard, pretty simple meeting, just opening public hearing, seeing if there's any comment, and approving the minutes so that we have that in our grant package. Yes, ma'am.
What time is this? What time are you looking at for October 8th?
October 8th, anytime it's agreeable to the board. That's our next regularly scheduled meeting. Shelley. So, right now, what I need for the board is a, motion to adopt the citizen participation plan so that we can get the ball rolling on applying for these funds that are on a first come, first served basis and moving forward with the infrastructure project.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Next item on the agenda is the donation of football equipment to the Gastonia Knights.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. The Gastonia Knights, which is a subset of the Greater Charlotte Youth Football and Cheer Conference, a nonprofit 501c3, approached me last week about some of our football equipment. They have seen a spike in registration due to other programs canceling, and requested to purchase some of our equipment to get them by what they needed at that time. And we moved forward with the purchase of some of that equipment, and they have, I assured them and I would bring it to the board to see if you all would be interested in donating the rest. It's 501c3 nonprofit. They travel back and forth to Spartanburg. They're doing great work. They have children from Ranlo that are playing, children from Ranlo that are cheering. The current equipment is dated 2017. It's my understanding that the equipment is only good for 5 years after it's purchased. So we're moving into year 3 on this equipment. The value has of course diminished the older that it gets. So I would like for the board to consider this. If you do find it to be agreeable, we will have to advertise for 10 days that we're donating the equipment and then move forward with the donation. But I do have a resolution of donation attached for you to review. And again, I think it would be a good show of community support and a good show of, the neighborhood of this
That
particular.
would free up some space in the storage, right?
It would, yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
I would ask that, or if it would be possible for them to list the town as a sponsor
Okay, I can,
in exchange for the donation.
I don't believe that would be an issue at all. They were very appreciative when, we were able to help them out last week, and I'm sure they'd be glad to.
This is all the remaining football equipment,
It is, yes, sir.
helmet pads, field equipment, and everything.
Shoulder pads, helmets, and I'm not sure about field equipment. But I know for sure they're interested in it.
If we're not gonna have, I mean, obviously, we're not gonna have football anymore, so we don't have a need for the chains and all that other stuff, so.
We can present it as a blanket donation of all of the equipment.
Yeah.
If they're interested, we will certainly, the board's agreeable, move forward with that, contingent on this resolution approving the next go.
Did I hear you say correctly that we have, people from Ranlo on the team playing?
We could,
I'll make a motion, we move forward the resolution to donate all the remaining football equipment that we have in storage now.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
With the contingency they put her name on as a sponsor.
All in favor? So carried. All right, town manager's report.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to make note that, we have finally finalized our asset inventory and assessment grant. Back in June, the board voted to move forward with applying for $150,000 in grants for water, infrastructure planning and $150,000 for water infrastructure planning. That grant, that submission has been sent on, and I hope that we will receive word on that very soon. It's been a long process, but I'm very excited about the potential of receiving $300,000 in grants to see what we have underground, and develop a capital management plan to make sure that we are providing stellar services in both water and sewer for our customers. Also, I want to make note that the Potter's House will be having their annual community scavenger hunt this Saturday. They're going to be using the park as one of their sighting locations where they'll have people coming through participating in their scavenger sign. So very nice to be able to assist them in their project as they do excellent work here in town. Also, last month we talked about looking at 2300 Lowell Road, what it would take to bring that down. I've spoken to 2 contractors. They are still working to finalize a specific proposal on paper, but it's going to cost in excess of $50,000 based on rough informal estimates that they have given me. As soon as I do have those final proposals, I will present them to the board, but currently where we stand is, I've spoken to 2 different people, and they've both come with, a price of around $50,000. One wants to come back later next week to evaluate the site more thoroughly, but the building is riddled with asbestos. There's a lot of asbestos in there, so that's going to require, a significant amount of that cost to go towards the appropriate disposal of that asbestos. Any comments on that?
Do we still have power to that building?
No, sir. There's no. If there's nothing else on that, like I said, I'll bring that back to you guys when we have formal, proposals on paper. The lodge rentals are going to begin to resume in October. We have had it clean. We're going to practice social distancing and limit the amount of people that we have in there, but we are going to move forward with, mid-October rentals. And also, there's been, a lot of questions talk about whether or not the board would be agreeable to opening up the community building for rentals again. I know at one time it was used for rentals. With the only thing that's currently in there is really this football equipment. With that removal, I feel that the building could be used for some type of generation of revenue if it's cleaned appropriately and if we do make sure that we are limiting based on the governor's guidelines. So, that is something that I did want to informally engage you all on. And if so, fees on what it would cost. I'm not quite sure the best price. I know it's a smaller facility than the lodge. I imagine we want to do different rates for town residents based on outside residents. Is there any thoughts amongst you all, what would be a fair fee to add to the fee schedule for that?
Can we go back and have Beth to check, to see what the fee was before when we rented it out?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was $100. If I'm not mistaken, that it was $100 that was the rate that was used for.
there was a difference between residents.
I would hope so, but I'm not sure. Well,
I think it'd be a good idea to have it, it's right next to the playground, it's a nice spot, or a smaller spot, for especially if somebody's having, you know, a kid's birthday party, you're not gonna need the lodge.
right. As far as price, do we want to look at the formal rate, do we want to look at adjusting that, or?
I feel like the lodge is $125, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And the community building's about, it's less than half the size of it, right?
At least half.
I see.
So maybe $60,
And that would be recommending 60 for the day,
yes,
and then, as far as security deposit,
maybe $20. For fun.
and as far as outside residents, double that?
That's basically about what it is for the lodge, isn't it, doubling?
That'd be right, yeah, and that would be kind of consistent with the fee that we have assessed in the law,
I think it's consistent with what was practice.
and I will make those necessary.
Sorry, I was gonna say, the lodge for non-Ranlo residents is $225, so it's not completely double.
So $100.
So maybe if you wanna stay consistent, we'll do that same rate.
Do the same rate or law
Yeah.
for out of town.
We can certainly do that, and I know that we've had interest with, some rentals in October, if the board's agreeable, I will make those necessary changes. See if
Would
it's-
60 cover paying the person cleaning it?
And we give back how much?
We were saying, I believe Ms. Cordell said 20,
Give them back 20, and then how much do we charge for cleaning?
it would be a
How
percentage,
much do we pay for cleaning?
right, it would be similar to the lodge, except it's a shorter percentage of it, I'm not sure what the cleaning costs were when we.
So basically, we charge them 100, and we give them 20 back, and we make 60 off of it.
I like,
No,
Oh, we
80.
charge them 60.
Charge 60.
And make it 40 off of it.
And then when we have somebody
Or
clean, we're
like
not gonna be
80 off of
making
it.
anything.
80.
Break
We're not
even.
gonna be making anything.
It would be,
we wanna check with some of the other towns' rental properties.
I mean,
I can be the same.
Do we not have someone on the staff that could take that over as a company?
we can on a short-term basis for sure, until, certainly with the immediate needs for people that are wanting it. I know there's several people that reached out recently about upcoming events that they'd like to see, we can certainly do that in-house.
Season 2 of funds.
It is, very much so,
Cause if we're gonna rent it out, we at least need to make something
yes, ma'am.
with utilities and, don't need to just rent it out to have some place for rent.
Right,
The way that the current agreement is written is that whoever rents it is responsible for the fee. So the person who would be coming back and doubling back and checking, they're just looking to make sure that it's clean, right?
What we still have to do like a COVID clean.
Yeah, we,
So we clean, they clean the bathrooms, they scrub the bathrooms.
right. We
mop,
probably,
They
right.
mop.
And for,
I don't know whether you've ever, Kate, have you ever been to the lodge after it's been cleaned by a resident? It wasn't clean.
Yeah.
They might have swear, but it wasn't clean. It wasn't ready for the next rental.
Mhm.
And from Friday night, if it's rented Friday night, Saturday night and Sunday, so it's a quick turnabout.
and two, we may look at not doing any type of refundable deposit if we're going to have someone come in and clean. That way we can be sure it's clean, and there isn't any type of argument or any type of disagreement over who says it's clean and who isn't, just,
That's agreeable.
I'd be more agreeable to that than to charging.
And then who's gonna check to make sure it's clean?
I think they're gonna hire.
You have, maybe more than you were.
I can make the arrangements, ensure that we have someone based on when those days that it's rented on, certainly for the short term, so that we can get it, making some money for us and get it back on, circulation on the same schedule as the lodge. If it becomes a problem, becomes an issue, we come back together.
So who will be doing the cleaning? Our
for now, we can do it internally, based on the need, desire, to see how well it goes, to see how busy it is.
Right.
And to see how much it costs us just on a trial basis, because it's been a while since we rented the community building, is my understanding. So we can watch it for a while,
It's
good
been
call,
in years.
has it, yes ma'am. So we can try that the next couple of months, if it becomes a problem issue, or if it becomes too cost prohibitive, I'll bring it back to you guys. But are we okay with 60 with no refundable deposit with us doing the cleaning, and then that's for in-town residents, and then a similar percentage for the, as we do for the lodge or outside residents? All right, just a couple more items, I'm sorry, I will be brief. I do just want to give a shout out to the Ranlo Police Department. They've done an excellent job. This time last year, they ran 439 calls. This year, it was 914 calls in that same time period. So they have been very busy. They've done a great job, and I really appreciate all that they do for the town. Last month, we discussed the issue about selling the former lift station, Mr. Kelly, on Sunset. The board wanted me to present him the option of leasing the property. He has declined that lease option, and withdrew his interest in the property for now, if it was going to be a leasing issue, so that is no longer of concern and has been settled. I think that's enough for now, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Okay, I wanna let the board know, I do appreciate the card and the gift card that y'all sent me. The town, during my crisis, the loss of my wife, was awesome. Fire department, police department, medical staff. And I do, give my sincere thanks to everybody that came to our aid under such crisis. My heart's still at half staff, so I ain't 100% over it. I don't reckon I ever will be 100% over it. It's really a tough road, but I do appreciate y'all's gestures. I think just reaching out to me. Any commissioners comments?
I have a comment. As we speak, I'm missing the NPO meeting is being held right now. It's virtual, but, so, I just want you all to know that I'm not getting credited for being at it tonight. Cause it, conflicted with tonight, I mean.
100%.
Should've skipped this meeting.
I want the board's, thinking on the parade. Should we go ahead with the parade? And while you're thinking, the Thanksgiving dinner, lunch for the seniors, what's your thoughts, on what we should do?
I kinda feel like, if we do something for Thanksgiving, maybe we can do a delivery.
Yeah.
Of those to the seniors.
Do what now?
Like delivery, take it to
Deliver
their
to
home,
them.
rather than having people gather and.
That would just be too hard, because we have like 125 to 150 people. It would be hard to deliver that many. I mean, we delivered, about 40, and it was 2 policemen and, a couple of other people that went. It was all they could do to get that done, and we were fixing plates at the Ranlo Church of God. It would be, we could do it just for the shut-ins and not for the senior adults. We could do that.
We have to keep in mind I'm sorry to interrupt you, keep
That's
in
okay.
mind the pandemic.
That's why I was bringing it up, to see if what y'all thought.
Restaurants are open, and they're asking them to do, safe distances, every other table closed down.
Well, you never know with this, how many is gonna show up.
And it's a particularly vulnerable age group,
Yes.
and I don't want anybody at risk.
The only ones that would probably come would be the ones that felt safe about going out and eating, I mean, right now, people are going out to eat.
Could we do a drive-through?
That's what I was thinking, curbside pickup.
Yeah, curbside, let them just drive through and we pick them a plate and let them just pick up and just go,
That's an option. And there too, we gotta see where this goes by Thanksgiving, if numbers start increasing, then we might have to recant anything.
We did it at the church last time,
Yeah.
and was like size, how big is, I don't know, it's the same for
the fellowship building, the
Yeah.
dinner club is where it used to be. It's good size, but it filled up, with the seniors.
So I was thinking if we did something like that, we did it on like a staggered schedule, like this 30 minutes, 30 minutes, down, so they can social distance.
You can't
We have to know
you
who
can't
was
kill
coming.
senior staff. You can't kill them that.
I think,
I think we decide on.
I think the drive-by be pretty good. And we still have the police officers over to shut-ins and stuff like that, they can't get out and get it.
Well, we can think about it the next meeting.
And Commissioner Locklear also mentioned parade, that's something Chen and I spoke about as well a few weeks ago. The schools are still up in the air with their bands and gatherings, with how that's gonna play out. As of now, it doesn't seem as though there's going to be able to be gatherings of bands and gatherings of people, together. Again, that's something we can look at later on, but that's so up in the air right now with everything that's going on, to be able to say September what's gonna happen in December, but on that same token, it does take time to plan these things, get things organized.
Yeah, it takes a while to plan to get participants for a parade, but
is the fire department still planning on doing their sound right through?
so that's just riding through.
Right, maybe we could get, a few police officers, some kind of joint effort between the town and the fire department to still have that kind of same spirit, still give out candy and stuff, but maybe make it a little more manageable, and then we just drive through the neighborhoods that we don't have big crowds.
And our fire department meetings actually get ready to start here in a minute. We're gonna discuss the, trunk or treat that we do every year out in the ball field, so whether or not we're gonna do it this year, because all the stuff going around, we'll probably still will have it, but I'll know for sure by the October meeting.
Wow. And those are
And, Mountain View's gonna cut back on theirs, aren't they?
They're not planning on it, they're still gonna
They won't do,
they're probably not gonna do as much, like, last year, we had people with food out and like serving food.
Yeah.
They probably won't have that, or we'll just be giving out candy, but they're still planning on having trick or treating.
I'm gonna do a lot of rethinking, aren't we?
All right, is
Oh,
everybody's
I have-
minds clear?
I
on
have,
something else?
one more thing, I had a citizen get in contact with me about, our billing, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that, as far as changing some of our billing practices, especially if we're moving to a different system.
Right. Right, and that is one of the goals of this updated proposal and, software upgrades. I'm hoping that when we have newer technology, when we have the software capability to be able to explore different options, that we can look at more of a staggered schedule, whereas the bill isn't printed on the first and due shortly thereafter. I think that the, best short-term step is being able to get our software where it needs to be. That way, we're able to, eliminate the amount of manpower, the hours that go into, taking collection payments, having those flexible options with people being able to pay online, and then moving forward with a different type of billing schedule, because it is very difficult, and I too have heard those complaints, Ms. Cordell, that people don't feel as though they have enough time. They don't feel as though there's a, adequate amount of time from the time they get the bill to the time that it's, time that's due. So I hope November, December for that billing, once we begin to work through the kinks of this and see where we can eliminate certain time in certain areas, that we will be able to, bring some type of revised, billing schedule to the table.
Okay. Entertain a motion to adjourn,
That's such motion.
I'll say.
all in favor? So carried. Meeting's
Thank you all so much.